with a car loan from ACB, drive away with a loan that fits you. Get up to 100% financing and 10 years to repay on a new or used car. Plus, get a pre-approved credit card. So rev up and get in gear with the Simply Smarter car loan. Call or visit us or go to acbonline.com for more.
ACB Caribbean, simply smarter banking.
Jingle your keys and get in gear with a car.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Talking Sports. I'm your host, Leroy John Baptist, and I'm joined as usual with our co-host, Colin Francis, aka Colin. Good evening, Colin. Welcome back to the studios in the Antigua Parish.
Good evening, JB. Thank you, and glad to be here on another edition of Talking Sports today, Tuesday, 24th of September. The year is almost finished, JB.
Yes, boy, time flies fast, and we really just have to treasure every moment of it, as there's no guarantee. As this, just the other day, it was the 1st of January. We were all excited, ringing in the new year, and now we're looking to go to our 42nd, 43rd year of independence.
Indeed.
Gearing up for that.
Just at the start of the year, seems like just yesterday we were looking forward to hosting the Cricket World Cup. That has come and gone. Looking forward to the CPL. CPL is still going on, but our matches have come and gone. Now looking forward to hosting England and Bangladesh. That should be exciting coming up.
So really and truly, it has been a rather packed schedule for Antigua in terms of sports, and we also have volleyball just around the corner, and they're going to have almost 2 months of consistent volleyball right here on the island.
Right here in Antigua.
It's quite a year of sports. Actually, I think some persons from draft would have gone off, and if I'm not mistaken, a couple Warrior players also. When we spoke with Mr. Cedric Lowe, we should try and get him back sometime to get an update.
They went to China?
Yes, Kazakhstan.
No, sorry. Kazakhstan.
Yeah,
My
Kazakhstan,
bad.
Yes. So it'll be interesting to get an update from these guys. Our netballers are in St. Lucia. Actually, they just about tip off with a game there. They were very pleasantly surprised us with that 39-37 win over the defending champion, Grenada.
Okay.
And really a good start for Team Antigua there, and we just want to wish them all the best going forward there in this competition.
Okay, that's good news. Netball essentially getting back on his feet after years in the doldrums of non-existence, I should say.
Yes, it has been quite a lot of work, and we got to give the executive,
Indeed,
the president, Karen Joseph, we got to give these ladies and guys who have worked tirelessly behind the scene to get this going. And sometimes we only look at the finished product, but we don't see the hard work that goes behind the scene, and we really got to give them some props for really getting our girls back.
Indeed, and it will take time to get back on the feet and running, if not walking first. But so we have to give them some time. So that first result there, beating Grenada, that's a very good result.
Yeah, very, very good. Grenada is the defending champions, and but I did, I did hear that they had some optimistic confidence going in, although the team is young and trying to grab their feet, but sometimes a little raw talent can get you over the edge.
Yes, we'll get there. We just have to give them time, and the stick-to-itiveness is there. So, and I'm sure Karen and her staff will do a good job.
Most definitely there. The male team, though, they did not do too well, or they have not done too well. I just missed that report there on their performance there, but from my memory there, they really have had a tough time at it. The male team, I think they were in St. Kitts, if I'm not mistaken. They had a little tough time of it there, losing quite a bit of their games. I think they're back on the island. I could be wrong, but I think they're back on the island. But We did try to reach out to Karen, but her game was just getting started. So we'll try again maybe on Thursday,
On Thursday,
Colin, to see
definitely.
if we could get her to get an update as to how the girls are doing down there in St. Lucia.
Is there a men's league in the netball?
I am not certain.
Because I was surprised to hear that we were fielding a team.
Yeah, but it seems to be a very popular sport among the men now. A lot of the
Okay.
men are getting real enthused into it, and so it seems to be gaining some traction here. And well, the fact that we could send a team to a regional tournament tells you that
That's
something is happening there. For our viewers tonight, we should have Kofi James, the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons player, online shortly. And we're just going to do a little recap with him, review of his experience. How is the team morale? What went on in the camp. Wasn't a very pleasant season, we would say, for the Falcons.
Definitely not. Learning experience, it certainly was. But I hope we can get some insights from Kofi, depending on how much he wants to divulge of what really went on in the camp, because from the outside looking on via the television, things didn't seem quite right.
Yeah, look a little bit disjointed. Could not follow. It'll be interesting. We'll definitely try and get Sir Kirtley maybe a little bit later on once he's cooled down and got a little more time on his hands.
Yes.
And get from the back end staff what happened. But Kofi should be joining us shortly, and he should be sharing with us, his experience and what transpired there. A little later, we'll speak a little more cricket. We have New Zealand and Sri Lanka. They just completed a test day. Sri Lanka, if you want to say upset, them, England, and I think Australia playing some one-day international ODIs. And I think, Colin, you have some stuff for football?
There's some
share?
English Football League Cup or the Carabao Cup. There were some matches today. For those of you who follow these English teams, Manchester City were 2-1 winners over Watford. Chelsea were 5-0 winners over Barrow. Walsall and Leicester drew 0-0, so Leicester went through 3-0 on penalty kicks. And Aston Villa, Premiership side, beat Wycombe Wanderers 2-1. That is another cup that they play. It's not the FA Cup. It's they call it the Carabao Cup, League Cup, where Premiership teams play against basically sides from much lower divisions. Barrow, for example, who Chelsea beat, is a side in League 2, which is, and just to give you an idea of the English system, there's the Premiership, there's a Championship, then there's League 1 and League 2.
Okay.
So that's a very lowly team there that Chelsea played. Similarly, Leicester, another Premiership team, they beat Walsall on penalties. That was a close one, actually. They scraped through. Walsall is another League 2 side. So they're 4 tiers down below the Premiership. And Aston Villa beat a League 1 side 2-1. So at this stage of that competition, you have the minnows playing against the big teams. So sometimes you get surprises, upsets. And sometimes, though, the Premiership sides, they play their second string teams to give them a run out. And so sometimes when you hear these upsets, it's an upset, still an upset, because it is a Premiership team you're beating, if that's the case. But a lot of the times when that happens is because the Premiership sides are playing their second string teams. They give their subs a run out.
Right. So it's like a little match practice for them.
Exactly. So that's what's happening in the UK now. The Premiership over the weekend had some nice results. I think that it was a 2-2 draw. Arsenal and the Manchester City played to a 2-2 draw. Manchester City equalizing in the 9th minute of added time.
Wow.
In the second half there, when the assistant referee had put up 7 minutes as the time. So
And they went to 9
and
minutes.
they went to 9. So, so Arsenal were
Somebody
not,
working behind the scenes there.
Arsenal were not too pleased there, but all these things make it very interesting. Go ahead.
Just an article that caught me in the newspaper where it says the school's football coordinator
Yes.
says body mulling policy change to allow students to rep other school. From what I'm understanding from this article here is basically we all go to school A, but we all can't play on school A's team. So maybe we can then cross over and play with school B.
Well, it's not a case of they can't play. It's when a particular school does not participate in the school league for whatever reason. So they're not,
okay.
but they have a few players at that school who want to play football in the school league. So they're mulling, or they're considering, although a decision already been made. I'm not sure, but they're considering allowing those students from that school, whose school does not participate in the league, to play for another school team.
I like that idea. I think it gives the students that opportunity, because if they're there and they don't get the opportunity, they can lose interest and they could, wander away. So I think that's a very good initiative. And I still want to push. Maybe one of these times we could try and get Porridge on the show also, because I like that idea in terms of development, where each player is given an allotted time on the field, because that's how I think some of our youngsters get disinterested when they're sitting on the bench, they're not given the opportunity.
Well, we're going to have a cultural change, so to speak, then, because, I mean, if I can think back to my days, school league, you play to win. You want to win. And the idea of, you have to give players, your second string players, game time or match time, that's a ticklish one when you have the development leagues. And maybe I can see the benefits there, even at the school league level, where the competitiveness is so high.
Well, Colin, and I agree with you. I mean, the competition, the inter-school competition is very high,
It's
and
very
all teams
tough,
want to,
yes.
all schools want to be represented well.
Exactly.
Even the coaches, they're looking at their resume to make sure that, they have some wins.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the ministry's position, or they're going to have to find a way to intertwine development, because at the end of the day, we want to see our players develop fundamentally, being developed the correct way. I mean, you could win some games, yes, but you're not grasping the full concept of the sport.
That is true, but I think in that respect, then the onus would have to be placed on the individual coaches at the particular schools, at their schools, to get the program going so that all players can get in the system, get on the squad. They might not necessarily make the final team, but if they can make some allowances, yes, I can see it helping with the development. And to get back to the concept of a player from another school playing for a player from school A being allowed to play is for school B, because school A does not feel a side in the school league. That will be a very ticklish one as well, because the players at that school might say, well, why should I be denied a place in the team? Because you coming from another school, just because your school doesn't participate in the school league, you're going to come and displace me from my school. I don't think the players at the school are going to take kindly to that.
Well, and this is what the discussion is all about. Okay, if you bring that, then I would probably say, okay, to counter that, if we can find a couple of schools and we could grasp them into one pool and make a united team, schools united. If that is possible, then that's an option that also could be placed on the table.
I agree.
But I don't see anything.
And if you look at the Leeward Islands tournament that's going to be played, the 50 over,
Yeah,
they're having a combined team
exactly.
to make up a team.
To make up a team, right.
So I can see that on all to do with development, of course.
Yeah, and I honestly believe schools cricket, winning is important, but I think the fundamental is gaining the fundamentals and really the development, setting that foundation. I was watching Joel running the wicket in the stadium, and you could see there's something lacking there. That fundamental, turning, reaching there, knowing when to turn. You could see he
You're
kind of
watching
Joel Andrew.
Joel Andrew?
Yeah. You could see he was a bit it wasn't as crisp in the wicket then.
Okay.
You know, when you compare, you watch other guys turning back and forth there. All right. All right. We're going to cut this segment short because we don't have him for too long. So we want to say good evening and welcome to Kofi James. Kofi, good evening. Welcome to Talking Sports.
Good evening.
All right, so Kofi, we're on the Antigua Parish League Network, no stranger to the network. I remember doing an interview with you some time ago. I think once with your dad and also with yourself. Kofi, CPL. Where can we start? Tell us, first of all, you'd have played with the Patriots and you'd have played with the Falcons. I think you'd have gotten a little more playing time with the Falcons. Is there any major difference in the two experiences you have had so far?
I mean, yeah, clearly, in terms of playing time, I didn't play much with Patriots. So this year, playing all the games, it was a major difference. You know, I got to experience as a player this time. Last year, I experienced it as being a part of the franchise, but this year I got to play. You know, the intensity is up. You know, it was a different level than just sitting on the bench and watching. Also, the group, it was a bit different. You know, every franchise is gonna be run different. So, but I love the energy in the group. The guys were great. You know, fun bunch, stick together all the time, play together as a team. So you know, it was a good experience overall. But no major difference besides just playing time and the style of the different groups.
The fortunes of the Falcons were not to the fans liking, and I'm sure not to you guys as players also liking. How would you describe the season? What were the highs? What were the lows? How could we see some improvement going forward?
I mean, definitely the group to me, with the time we had, we did good enough to, like gel together, know each other. In terms of like the results, I mean, if you actually watch the games, you will see that we had like 4 or 5 close games that we lost that could have went either way. And I just think that, along the way, new franchise, yeah, some of the players were the same, but, everything was a bit new. The skipper had to learn more about his players, we're in other teams that were gelled together for years playing this tournament, and we're a new franchise, so some things we just didn't get right. But there were a lot of close games. You can see that we played hard cricket, we played good cricket, and we're a talented bunch. And these results could have gone anyway. So I don't think we're too flustered about not winning. Yes, everybody wants to win, but I don't think we are flustered about not winning because we know that the results could have went either way. So it's just about for us for Antigua Falcons to, get better next year and give the fans something to cheer about next year. Do better.
Before Colin come in here, you spoke about the captain, getting to know the players, and I think that is one of the discussion point that has been heavy in the circuit. We felt some of the players may not have been utilized in the best way. I know you can't say too much, but how much do you think that, that integration moment, process, what big difference that does make in a team?
I mean, we as local players, you expect to see, a particular batsman or bowler or bat in a particular situation that they probably could do well in. Because you've been watching, them. But I mean, when you're a captain and you have 15 options, 5 of them are the same options that you can call on anyone. I mean, you're calling somebody, they didn't do the job, and that's part of cricket, So going along, I mean, going into the tournament, we win some games, and you can see that, everything was looking much, much better than the first couple of games that we lost. You just when you have a lot of options, and these tournaments, you have to really bank on what you know, what your gut tell you. And as a skipper, you have to bank on what your gut tell you. So we as the fans, you know, the fans go always demand a win, and fans go say, hey, Kofi, Shalom should have do this or could have do that. But hey, at the time, the team and the skipper went to their gut, and that's why it be sometimes. So, I mean, as players, we understand as fans. I don't expect fans to do any better, but want to see wins. You know, that's their job as fans, to come support and cheer on and expect a win. So, I mean, next year definitely with this bunch and the talent, and the team will be more gel. It's a new franchise again, you know. So, I guarantee next year with this crop of players, it will be way better.
Okay. Personally, for you, Kofi, what did you take away from your performances? What were you pleased with? What were you disappointed with from your performances?
I mean, I personally think I could have backed myself a bit more to, you know, in certain situations, just back myself, trust my skills a bit more, you know, and really stamp down. I got a couple starts well for the tournament, didn't carry on, so that's something I'm disappointed with. That definitely next time I look to capitalize on those starts. I mean, I play a really good shot, so I don't really have to try much. Just to stamp down and capitalize, but deeper, but longer to capitalize on those starts, because you know, one good performance can take you anywhere around the world and play cricket, and a lot of money there to be made, a lot of opportunities are there. So I'm not so satisfied. I'm not satisfied at all. Very disappointed in certain areas. But the good thing about it, I did well enough that hey, I played 8 games, so that means the coach, the captain, the players see something that I'm doing correct, or that I'm good at, or the talent, or I'm good enough. So that's a plus, that they see something in me, because you know, last year I didn't play any games.
Okay.
And this year I play 8 games. So there must be something I'm doing right why I play 8 games. So that's a plus going into next year. So it's just for me to know to take the confidence with me and just keep it simple next year, but longer, and I guarantee I can get some bigger scores. In terms of the bowling, I mean, I was playing more as a batsman, so you know, I can't really say much. I didn't bowl much. The few hours I bowl, I feel I bowl well, but still can always do better. Always room for improvement. So you know, I gotta be more focused next year now, and hitting the targets I didn't hit this year and improving. So next year now, can't make the same mistakes, you know. Can't do the same thing. Have to be better next year.
Okay. Do you see yourself, and I suppose this is a question you get asked a lot, do you see yourself as a batting all-rounder or a bowling all-rounder?
I see myself as an all-rounder.
Okay.
You know, I'm an opening batsman.
Okay.
But then in every setup we go in, I mean, as for the type of player I am, I realize every setup I go in, everybody wants me to do something else. But you know, sometimes as a player, it gets a bit like roller coaster for you. When every setup you go in, everybody wants you to do something else. I mean, generally, I'm an opening batsman and I bowl. I would say first change, but I can't get what I want all the time. I have to do it what I have sometimes, you know, and I'm just an all-rounder. I'm not going to say I'm a bowling all-rounder, a batting all-rounder, because right now, even though I want to be a batting all-rounder, some setups could pick me as a bowling all-rounder.
Okay.
Some teams go look at me as a bowler. Some, you know, it all depends, to be honest, on the setup.
But Kofi,
But
if I
generally,
could,
I'm an opening batsman and first change bowler.
Kofi, if I could just come in here a sec. You spoke about teams having different expectations of you in their setup. One of the talk I heard is okay, so how should I ask this? When you go there to bat, are you under instruction from the management into how to approach your innings, or do you go there and you assess the situation, you play according to the situation?
I mean, in cricket, you guarantee that the situation will be different. I don't think you ever go in to bat with the same exact situation. Like, based on the situation, you have to bat accordingly. And, I mean, coach is going to give you instructions all the time. Especially for example, you're batting and you're chasing. You need X amount of runs or X amount of overs. Based on the pitch, based on the bowlers remaining, based on the net run rate, you might get certain instructions. So it's generally cricket that you will get instructed to do a certain thing or bat a certain or give a certain role. But then at the end of the day, you still have to have your batting style that you can count on to deliver for you. Because that's why they pick you in the first place, you know. When they pick you, they didn't tell you to bat a kind of how when they pick you, if you get what I'm saying. So you still have to have that identity that, hey, I'm a finisher, I'm a six-hitter, I'm an opening batsman, I'm a person that bat the innings, you know, I'm a person that come in and change the game. You have to have your identity, and then if the coach wants to give you a specific role, that will happen. That happens a lot in cricket, but you still have to have an identity. I have my identity. I know how I bat, I know how I want to bat, but then of course I have to take instructions sometimes, and then sometimes you don't get instructions from the coach, you just go and bat how you know to bat. So it's a mixture of both.
How does that affect you as a player? You, as I said, you just said you know your identity, but the coach has a different mindset, or the team needs a different skill set from you. How does that affect you going into a game? Because one of the things go ahead. Go ahead, Kofi.
Continue.
No, go ahead. I'll cut it off there.
Yeah, like it shouldn't affect any player, because if a coach give you a role, it's because they see something in you or see it do whatever they want it to do. Because I don't think a coach when they just tell a Kelvin Pittman or Alzheimer Joseph, go open the batting. You know, that's ridiculous. Because they have people to do that. So if the coach gives you a role, it shouldn't affect you. Or if it does affect you and you feel like this is not my role, then obviously you should have a tag. But if you don't do anything about it and you accept it, that means, hey, you gotta go and do it. Because I feel coaches give you roles because they feel you can do the job, or they've seen you do the job before. So me personally, if I'm given a particular role and I don't like the role, of course I'm gonna go to the coach one hour, hey, I realize they're giving me this role or whatever, you know, and talk. But as cricketers, as batsmen, I think you're given roles based on what they see you do and what they think you can do. So it shouldn't affect you, and it doesn't affect me. If I'm given a role, if the game is a situation where they say, hey, we need some hitters, and I say, Kofi, go. Obviously, they see me hit ball before they know I can do it. Or if they see we need somebody to consolidate and they send me, I'm going to go do it because that's what they see me do. Totally different situations, but guess what? They believe in you and they believe you can do it, you're going to do it. And there's no excuses, there's no anything, just go and do it. If you don't like the role, then that's you have to go and deal with it personally.
All right, Kofi, before you go.
I don't think I'm affected by it.
Okay, before you go, and I think we'll probably have to try and get you and maybe Joel in studio one of these time. You're going away to play with the Antigua team. I think you're leaving on Saturday?
Yeah, we're leaving shortly.
All right. So just you're looking forward to that, or you need a break?
I mean, I was selected. I mean, I'm available. If I needed a break, I wouldn't make myself available for that tournament. But I'm available. I'm playing. So yeah.
Well, there's some pressure on you, Kofi. You're coming from a higher level, and I think the fans, realistically, they're going to expect to see you like a little cream of the crop above the rest.
Do you prefer the 50 over or the 20 over game?
That's cricket.
Just cricket. You don't have a preference?
Yeah. I want to play all cricket, but if I had one choice, I'll play Test.
Test? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, because most of the players, you young players coming through these days, seem to want to play the shorter versions.
I mean, you can't really blame them now, because
that's where the money is.
They grew up seeing that's where the cricket headed.
Kofi,
yeah, you can't really blame them.
Kofi, give us 2 minutes.
Hello?
We're going to take a quick break. I know you said you had to go. We just want 5 minutes on the other side, so just give us 2 minutes. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back with you. Can you give us 5 minutes? All right, let's take a quick break, technician. Okay. I'll be right back on.
Jingle your keys and get in gear with a
All right. Good evening. Welcome back to our viewers to Talking Sports. And here with Colin Francis, aka Colin, and we have online Kofi James, just recently completed his spell there with the Antigua Falcons. Not the season I guess they would have wanted in terms of wins. He did say that they gel together good as a team. Kofi, are you there with us still?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Okay, Kofi, let's just speak a little about you. You have been on the circuit for quite a while. A group of us were talking the other day and we were flashing back when captaincy was actually thrusted anew in the Leeward Islands setup some years back. In terms of your personal development, your game, are you satisfied with where you are at this stage, or you need to step it up a bit?
I would say yes, I'm satisfied, but I'm not comfortable, if you understand. Because there's always something there that you need to work on that you can always do better. But I'm satisfied in terms of like, if I'm ready for international cricket, kind of satisfied, yes. I think I'm ready to play at the highest level. You know, I have the skill set, I have the mentality, I have the drive. But comfortable, I wouldn't say I'm comfortable because, you know, there's always room for improvement, and I don't think as a player you should ever be comfortable or okay with, hey, I'm here and I should be there. If I was in international cricket, probably I would say yeah, but that's my aim, and I'm not there. Although my skill set is there, my mentality there, the drive is there, I'm not there, so I wouldn't say I'm comfortable. But I'm satisfied with my development. I think I'm developing over the years. I'm becoming a more mature cricketer on and off the field, not just on the field. And in terms of like leadership, I've always been a good leader. I always try to learn as much as possible, ask questions. So my development overall, holistically, I'm satisfied. Where I'm at currently, no.
All right. I would say to you though, you need to score more centuries consistently. I think those are what the benchmark that will really propel you over the top, and we really want to see you stamp your authority as one of the premier players, not in Antigua now. You should pass Antigua in the Leeward Islands setup. So we just want to wish you and the Antigua team all the best going over there in St. Kitts, and hope that your legs are still strong enough to take you through that competition.
Definitely.
All right, anything else for you, Colin?
Oh, no, just to wish Kofi all the best and thank him for his achievements and contributions to cricket so far. We're looking for, well, as Antiguans, we're looking for greater and better things for you, but certainly we wish you and the Antigua team all the best in this 50-over competition in St. Kitts coming up.
Thanks.
All right, so thanks, Kofi. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we had Kofi James, the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons player there, and just sharing some little insights on his stint with the Antigua Falcons. He did say, Colin, there that different setting, you know, different atmosphere. Obviously, he enjoyed this setting a little more. He got more playing.
Yes.
Played all 8 games. Didn't play any.
I didn't realize he did not play a game for the
Patriots. Yeah, I thought he had played
last
one
year.
game. Yeah, but he said he didn't play any game at all. Maybe he did some substitute field in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kudos to him then. And as he says, well, the fact that he played all games mean that the coaches, selectors have confidence in him.
I heard that. I'm not saying that may not be the case. I'll be a little bit biased. Maybe the depth of the players we had did not allow. I think Kofi got some good starts. He didn't really
Yes, and
turn them.
he acknowledged that.
He didn't really turn them into, and at that level, you have to turn them into some reasonable scores, you know. And I think that is where, if I have any knock on Kofi, I think that is it. Kofi kind of give you a little impression of a Carl Hooper. He looks great. He looks wonderful, and then Kofi decides to run down the wicket.
Just gives it away.
Reverse sweep, you know. So I just think that he needs to buckle down a bit. And this is why I asked him the question, you know, when you go to bat, are you on instruction from the coach, or is it your intuition?
Yes, and as he said, though, every game will present a different scenario different situation, different requirement, and I'll go back to what he said about the coaches having confidence in him. I mean, if they ask him to play the big hitting role, it's because they feel he can do it, and the situation of the game demands that he do it. And in 2020 cricket especially, where you don't have much time, yes, you have to build, quote unquote, an innings, but there isn't much time. So you have to keep things moving, and you take risks. That's the nature of the game. And taking risks, the probability that you will give your wicket away is greater.
Yeah, but I would say the risks have to be calculated, Colin. I just feel sometimes. I mean, you watch a Joe Root, I mean, I know these are class players, and it's really not fair to compare our players with these guys, Virat Kohli. You watch how these guys approach their innings, and I mean, they measure their batting. They know when to attack, get that ball into the gap, get those singles, and I just think our younger players are just all gung ho and hitting that ball out of the park.
Oh, true. I wouldn't say it's unfair to compare them to these top of the line cricketers. I think that's who we should compare them to, and that's where they should aspire, how they should aspire to be. But remember, when you're looking at these Joe Roots and Kohlis and these fellas, these are players who have perfected, if anybody can perfect anything at that level, but they are at a very high level of technical skill. And their ability, when they're playing the shorter versions of the game, the ODIs and the T20s, their technical ability is so good that they make things look easy. So they are pushing things along, taking the singles. It might appear that they're not taking risks, but they're taking risks too. But because they technically are superior, they will get away, they will have more success. So our players have to work on those technical skills so that when they are taking the risks, even playing the reverse sweep, which is what these players seem to be practicing and trying to perfect these days. They're high risk shot, yes, but because of their skills and adaptability, they can pull it off.
Well, that's true. I have to agree with that. I'd really love to see that happen. The Antigua team was announced just after we spoke with Shafto there.
Yes,
They
on
had the
Thursday.
team there, and it will be led by Kareem Agor. Kareem Agor will be the captain. Darren Benter, Elroy Francis Jr., Kadeem Henry, Jawaki Joseph, Kadeem Josiah, Kelvin Pittman, Joel Andrew, Mikali Tong, Kofi James, just spoke about him, Javier Spencer, Eason Warner, Glenton Williams, Tyrone Williams Jr. Reserves, Yuri Smith, Damari Benter, and Jedediah Martin.
Okay. What's your opinion of that team? Good bunch.
Well, it's a young team.
Yes.
A young team.
But with some experience in there
players
too.
have been around for a while. The T. Willies, the Kofis, which I'll expect to provide quite a bit of leadership in the background. Although Karima is the captain, they would have had a lot of more experience at that level than most of these players. Darren Benter has been around for some time
Well,
too.
yes.
So these guys should be able to provide some leadership. So you have a little good leadership core with Kareem Agor, and I guess once they could gel as a team, we should see some good performances. They're good individual players, no doubt about that, but is if we can get them to gel together and really operate as a team.
I'm a bit surprised that I'm not hearing Nino Henry's name in the mix there.
Well, I'm
Not
telling
even
you,
the reserves.
well, not even the reserve, yeah, and I think he was leading one of the teams in the
Practice matches.
practice matches. So
Yeah.
looks like the bowling is heavily dependent. They have a lot of spinners. I see Kadeem Josiah. I know Isan is going to do. Glenton Williams is going to throw his hand over.
Glenton Williams is there.
Glenton Williams is there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
my surprise, I might be a bit biased, is Damari Benter. I really thought that he was one of our real young aspiring batters that would be, hungry to get his mark on the national level.
He's a
but
reserve, is he?
He's in the reserve. I heard a conversation that Jedediah Martin should be in there. But when you pick a team, everybody should be in there.
Well, well, only 15 they can get, right?
Yeah,
And
good
so
luck with everybody.
there will be some surprises, to put it that way, and some new blood that they will want to blood. So everybody can't be selected, but can only wish them well.
Yeah, well, it's a good opportunity. Easton Warner has been around.
That's a player I am looking forward. I have high hopes for him.
Well, he has to get his groove on quickly. I think he went away to England
England,
and did some tours, and he came back. I don't think he had
along with the young Benter, the one that you said, surprised.
Damari, right,
Both
right,
of them
right.
are
Both of
still
them,
in
right.
England. We had them in here on Sports with Mandela one Saturday, a few Saturdays ago.
Great. Yeah, I just don't think Isan has, how should I say it? He hasn't.
Fulfill his potential.
Yes, I think I think it's one of the cleanest hitters we have in Antigua. He really hits the ball with some timing, some
Yes.
power. Again, I'm just a little concerned with the influence, the attitude. I don't think the focus is there to really excel.
Well, I don't know. If I can refer back to his interview here on Saturday, 2 months ago or so, I was impressed with his delivery, his thinking. He seemed to have the right attitude in my mind, and his commitment definitely is there. And I think having seen him a few years ago when he was raw, so to speak, I was impressed, and I think he is developing mentally. And as I said, I am expecting good things from him, and young Benter as well. So let's wish them well. The tournament in St. Kitts starts this weekend coming up.
I think they're leaving on Friday or Saturday. So they're leaving on Saturday and they're playing on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember Shafter.
Shafter said
did
that,
say that.
yes.
Yeah. The young guy Glenton Williams, good to see him in the team. One of our promising spin
Spinners.
bowlers.
He's a left arm. All right. I'm not
Don't
sure.
put me on the spot like
Okay.
that. Javier Spencer, he has been around for a while too, a promising fast bowler. And he needs to have that breakout season there. Pittman, he needs to continue building on, what he has, his brand. I mean, he only got, I think, one game for
the CPL, in the CPL.
Spartans. Yeah, I think he was totally misused in that game.
Yeah.
You can't ask a guy playing his first game to, his first game for the season.
Bowl the last over
Bowl the
at the
last
death.
over, I felt that was a bit hard on him, but hey, that's the captain asks you. You got, as Kofi said, you got to do that.
I would really like us to get Kirtley, Shandapal, or even Polo to ask them more probing questions which, well, I would have liked to ask Kofi, but it wasn't. He wasn't the one to field such
I don't
questions.
think he would want to. He skirted around a few questions.
And that's expected.
And that's expected, yes.
But
yes,
certainly, these decisions that are made, batting order, changed bowling, these things, where did they come from, and who's the prime mover there? If it's the captain, the coaches, both, who has, exactly. I like to get into the minds of the coaches and the assistant coach to really find out what goes on behind the scenes, so to speak.
Well, I think Kofi made a statement there that we can't underestimate, with the captain probably not being too familiar
with all the
with the players
Yes,
and their capability. Yes, you might hear this guy is a little batsman, a little bowler, but not really seeing them in the trenches. You may not fully appreciate what they bring to the table, and and this is where I think the coaches,
which is where the coaches Kirtley and Polo and Shandapal should come into play, and then you get into the question of egos and personalities. How much does the captain how well is the captain prepared to listen and take the advice of coaches, senior players in the team? And we have mentioned here before, when you look on the television at the chemistry there, and Billings, when he was wicket keeping, the influence he has on field settings, speaking to the bowler, you see Billings going up and having a word with the bowler, which is a role you usually would see the captain or some other senior player taking on. But so it's a lot of politics, chemistry, and egos to work with. And I think that's, well, they always say that one of the main roles of a coach, or the major role of a coach, is man management.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's managing egos.
Mhm.
I mean, people say, "Oh, our manager just don't have no paper on it. He's not doing no work."
No,
But
no,
his
no,
job is not really to do that physical work. He's to make sure that you do the work and you feel like if you're the best employee that he has. You know.
True.
Well, Colin, the Falcons' journey in this CPL
Over.
was over. Our last game was against the Guyana Amazon Warriors, and I think our performance just kind of epitomizes our season. We bowled out we limited the Warriors to 135.
135, which is a
for
low
7,
score.
very low score, and then we could only muster 108 all out. In the Amazon innings, Moin Ali, he got 42. Azam Khan, he got 29, and Amir got 2 wickets, and Azim got 2. Hayden Walsh finally getting another game. I think he only played 2 games for the season. He had 4
He's
overs,
4 overs for 14.
15 runs.
15, okay.
1
Yeah,
wicket.
he bowled well.
Bowled very well.
Very well.
Yeah, so Amir has been a hot and cold player. Was cost us a few games earlier, but he did have some good spells in the latter part of the competition. So probably took him some time to warm up.
Yes.
In our reply, we struggled. Kofi James again, where we said got to start.
How much he got?
27.
27, yes.
3 4s, 1 6, but couldn't convert that into a 40
A
or 50.
50. Mhm.
Right, that's the sad, and nobody else really put their hand up. When we're depending on Chris Green to make runs for us, we're in some serious trouble. Jamal Hamilton finally getting out, well, not really getting any much runs, but getting a 12, you know, and feel good to get into double figures. And yeah, nothing else really from us. 3 wickets for Pretorius, 2 for Tahir, and 3 for Moin Ali. And Shamar Joseph, the fast bowling sensation, he getting 1 wicket there.
Yes.
So the Falcons season came to an end. I'm very disappointed, and I may be biased. Joel Andrew didn't get any more opportunities. I don't know if he was injured, but I'm definitely promising we're going to get him in studio.
I doubt he was injured, but I think the experience will do him good, though, because just rubbing shoulders with these players, these experienced players, these great players in some cases, will benefit him greatly. I am anxious to see him in the 50 over and longer versions of cricket. I really am not a fan of the T20 cricket. I enjoy the excitement and so forth, but I really want to see Joel getting into the longer versions of the game. 50 overs where he can really build an innings and show his skills, and certainly the long 4-day and eventually into the test team.
Colin, I hear you, but I think he should play. That's
You think he
just
should? Well,
I just
okay.
think he should play. Graves, Justin Graves, he has a hot and cold. He made a couple of runs, but I think basically he struggled. I don't know if the T20 is the best format for him. He struggled a bit in terms of his run rate. Strike rate.
Something that struck me the other night, though, was it Graves who retired hurt?
Yeah.
What was that? A sportsman? You
I-
told him to retire hurt so that you could bring in a big hitter.
I didn't see the
That's
actual
the
incident,
that's
but
the
when
impression I got.
When I read the report, that's what the report said. You know, he
Alright.
retired out
Retired
to
out. Yes.
to get a more
I'm-
bigger hitter to get in.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of surprised that is allowed. I guess in the spirit of the game, I don't know, but that shocked me really, that you could ask a batsman to retire out just to bring in a big hitter. It's like back in the day, England used to come play in West Indies. They're playing against the West Indies in test matches, and they would bring on Roger Harper as emergency fielder, resting some bowlers, a bowler, for example.
Right,
And Harper is a great fielder. He could feel in the slips, he could feel in the covers. He's quick, quick, good arm, and they used to complain that that's unsportsmanlike. So I'm a bit surprised that that is allowed in this form of cricket.
Well, England, they were able to. Well, no, before we get to England, let's just finish up. We had a game also today. It was Guyana, not Guyana, sorry,
St. Lucia.
Trinidad and Tobago. Quite a surprise, and maybe I have to eat some cheese here
They were
because
beaten by the Kings, the
the
St.
Kings.
Lucia.
I was very gung ho on this Knight Riders team at the start of the tournament. When you read that lineup,
When you look at the lineup,
I just felt we were going to see scores of 200 plus continuously. But they have struggled a bit in this competition.
okay.
And they got whooped today by the St. Lucia Kings. Jonathan Charles. Some people have been questioning his continuous inclusion in the West Indies team, but he continues to perform. And so
I don't
he
know
got a
why.
brisk 89 from 40 deliveries, 8 maximums, 7 fours, and Faf Duplessis.
So the Kings batted first, did they?
Yeah, they batted first. They made 218 for 6.
Okay.
Well, most of the runs came from the top 3. Duplessis, he made 59, and Tim Seifert, he made 30 there, and then it was tailed off a bit to 218. They probably felt they should have gotten a little more than that, but 218 for 6.
And in reply,
Well, Pollard finally got not finally, but he bowled. I don't know if he has bowled any at all in this tournament. He got 4 for 38.
okay.
I think something went awry with Dwayne Bravo. I didn't get to read the report 100%. Seemed like he got injured.
Okay.
And yeah, so Trinidad only got 138.
What I'm seeing here. So they were bowled out, one in 17.5 overs. Okay. Wow, that's surprising. Well, cricket, lovely cricket. St. Lucia Kings won by 80 runs. Okay. I noticed not Pollard, Russell, as saying he wants to play in the next World Cup.
I read something here. He said basically he's saying I want to retire, but the coach doesn't want me to retire, so he's going to be making himself available. That is what I kind of read somewhere.
Coach meaning
Sammy
Darren Sammy
wants him to continue to play,
Okay.
so he's going to continue there.
I also noticed that he bowled and was bowling pretty quickly, and then had to go off the field.
Well, we all know that's a breakdown train. Jason Roy, he had 41, and Chris Jordan, 27. Russell, he smacked 2 sixes, but that was it for him in his 12. And so Casey Carty was asked to open. I'm wondering if all these moving around of these youngsters, if it's really helping their game, if it's putting that excessive pressure. I think even if we check Kofi probably batted in about 4 or 5 different positions in these T20 game here. And now I'm seeing Casey Carty's opening when he was batting at, I think, 4 or 5 at one time. So,
Well, I don't know. Kofi not brushed it off, but he said that if they ask you to do it, it means they have confidence in you. And he's going to do his best, which is I like that that response really. But and I have to go back to this T20 cricket. Yes, I enjoy it. Excitement is good, but from the development of the players, and especially when we're looking in the case of Joel Andrew in particular, even Kofi and Casey Carty that you mentioned there, I don't think it's a good for their development to have them shift in here, batting at opening, batting at 3, batting at 4, coming back. 6.5 a dozen maybe, but I would rather that they practice in get accustomed to one position, one role. And yes, the T20 cricket is a fast changing game. Situations change, pitches change, as Kofi said quite rightly. But I would really prefer to see them being concentrated in one position and stability being the order of the day and development of their game.
Azari Joseph also, his bowling, I would say, has come on a lot in the back end of the tournament. He has really bowled very quickly. I actually see him bowling some slow balls.
Okay.
I'm
glad to hear that.
A variety, which is something that persons have been clamoring for. And so it tells me that he's listening, or the coaches are working with him, whichever way. But he has really been a bit more economical and a bit more effective in his bowling spell. So I think that will help his confidence quite a bit going forward there.
Okay, so are we finished with the round robin session of the CPL, or when the playoffs start?
No, I think there's a couple other. Guyana has a couple other games to play. Let me see if I can find that schedule right away as we talk. But Guyana has a couple of home games I think they have to play.
So they're just playing for the the top two positions to decide who plays who in the
right. I think now it's just to decide who is going to play who
in the playoff
I
section.
think the Falcons and the Patriots are already out.
Yes.
So that's there. Well, yeah. Tomorrow it's going to be tomorrow evening. I think. Yeah, it's going to be Guyana and Barbados Royals, and then we also have Trinidad. After that, Trinidad will be playing Barbados, and then Guyana has St. Lucia. So quite a few games before the playoffs. Yeah, we have about 4 more games before the playoff.
Okay, so that's
so still some, but I think most of this is just to decide, who's going to
1,
play
2,
who.
3, 4.
Right.
Yes, 1 will play 3 and 2 play 4, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask Kofi, I'm sorry we didn't have more time. The format of the scheduling, the Falcons, for example, playing all their home matches and then going on tour.
Okay, we're going to get back to that right after Colin. Technician is signaling feverishly that we need to take a break.
Okay.
And so we'll be right back on Talking Sports, just finishing up some cricket, and then we'll get into some other sporting activities.
Welcome back to Talking Sports here on the Antigua Parish League Network. With myself, Colin, and JB, your hosts. Don't forget, you can call into us on 776-2866 and be a part of our discussion. We'd love to hear from you. Before the break there, JB, I was just questioning or wondering the scheduling of the Falcons in the league just finished there, the Caribbean Premier League. They played all their home matches and then went on tour. I can understand it from a logistics point of view. It would be easier to do it that way, so that they play all their matches here, then they go to St. Kitts, which is close by, and then they go down. But I wonder how the players see that and how that affects them psychologically, even or mentally, if they would rather go on tour first and then have their home matches, or have it spread around. What do you think?
Well, I would believe you. I don't think you two mind playing your first couple of games at home, because it gives you that comfort zone, and you're able to work out your little. I mean, you don't really have much time because you're playing almost every day. But I'm not too certain it will affect these cricketers. They should be professionals, and
Okay.
I believe playing all your games at home. I think it gives you a good start to the tournament. You should really take advantage of that. Unfortunately, the Falcons and the Patriots didn't do much of that. Guyana on the back end now is trying to do that. Trinidad would have done that.
No.
Well,
As you say, they are professional cricketers, and maybe they liked it that way, or even preferred it that way. But I just wondered if it would affect them in any way at all.
I doubt it. I think the teams that maybe struggle the most would be those away team, because what is happening now, you're playing one game and then you might have to wait 6-7 days before you play another game, and that could lead to some rust. And on the other hand, you could say, hey, well, at least we get more time to sharpen our skills. So it all depends on which angle you look at it at.
And it might have hastened you said the captain, for example, this wasn't familiar with some of the players, so maybe the way it would have speeded up his whole getting acclimatized and acquainted with the players. So,
But he could have said too, hey, maybe if our games were spread out early, we had more practice sessions, I could get to see the guys some more, see what they bring to the table.
So it's a balancing act.
It's a balancing act. It depends on how you look at it. Some tape ball, Colin, in the LL Supply Total Imports Island Boys Sports Club tape ball. We had 4 games on Sunday, and we had over at Potters. Buckley's 3Js, they made 217 for 5. Kenrick Scott, and we should offer our sympathies to Kenrick Scott, that gentleman that that got drowned in Barbuda. I understand is his brother. So we just want to extend our sympathies from the Antigua Parish League Network there.
Definitely, yes.
But he got 88 runs there, and Steve Martin got 33, and Yuri Smith, the reserve, he got 22 there. In Desi Boys, the bowling for Desi Boys, Abhishek Good, he got 2 wickets for 25 runs in 3 overs. In reply, Desi Boys were bundled out with 52 in just 7.1 overs. Richie Thomas grabbing the player of the match there, grabbing 4 for 25, supported by Xavier Otto, who had 4 for 26. Pete's Landscaping 300, they made pretty light work of Mix Up Stars. They beat them by 133 runs. 300, well, Mix Up Stars won the toss and they put in 300, don't know why, but 300 amassed 190 for 8.
Wow.
Damon Valentine, he scored 66. Isaiah Shekels, he scored 29. And bowling for Mix Up Star, Isaiah Viville, he got 3 wickets for 21 runs, and Carl Simon got 2 for 24, along with Alfred Jarvis, 2 for 20. Mix Up Stars, they were bundled out for 57. Linton Africa, player of the match there, he picking up a 5 for 13. They're bowling for 300 team. Over at Powell's, Dredgers defeated PMS by 8 wickets. That game was severely hampered by the rain, so it was only decided on the 7 overs. So you had PMS, they batted first, and they would have made
You know, JB, I have to confess, and I'm just reading the report now. I was going to ask you if these are 10 over matches, but they're 20 over matches, are
yeah,
they?
they're 20 over. They're 20
Okay.
over matches.
Okay.
20 over matches there. So just trying to get that score.
So these scores was a par score, 217 for 5. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, let's try Buckley's. Okay. And
Yeah, PMS batted first. They had scored 108 all out in 12.5 overs. Visual Gobin had 39. Ramjan had 24. Jaquan Artenez, eventually the player of the match. He had 1.5 overs, 12 runs, 4 wicket. And his father, 1.5 overs. Justin Artenez, 12 runs, 2 wickets. So father and son combination routing out PMS. Judges at their time of the crease, they scored 89 for 2. And then after 7 overs, the rain came. And so as per the rules of this competition, we look at the scores at the end of the last completed over.
okay.
And so Judges was 89 for 2. Mervyn Higgins had 56 runs. Tyrone Williams, he was warming up for going over to St. Kitts. He had 16. And at the same stage, PMS, they were 68 for 7. So Judges was the winner there.
So it's just a straight comparison. Then what you scored after 8 overs?
And what I scored,
Oh,
right? It's a
okay.
straight comparison.
No,
So-
no DLS
No,
turn.
no, DLS. We don't have that type of
Technology.
technical skill set with us.
Okay.
And Bryson Shipping Insurance Bullets, they defeated GP Eagles, Gladys Potter Eagles by 3 wickets. That was a very exciting game, Colin. Game down to the wire. GP Eagles, they batted first and they made 188 for 4 of their 20. Kerry Mentor, again in the scoring chart, he made 77 not out, supported by Melvin Charles, 35. And Ruston Trish Phillip Jr., he scored 32. Andrew Samuel, again, was among the wicket, 4 overs, 28 runs, 2 wicket. And Bullets in reply, they made 191 for 7 from 19.3 overs. Darren Benter getting his groove on, getting ready to go to St. Kitts. He scored 82. And George Nick Elvin, he had 48 not out. And Easton Warner, he contributed 28. So another exciting week of tape ball, and it's going to continue again on Sunday at the Potters Playfield and also at the Powell's Playfield there.
I like to hear then these players involved in the tape ball are the hardball cricketers getting their eye in, so to speak, in the tape ball. I think it can only do them good.
And I'm telling you, it's very competitive. They're very passionate. If you hear them, sometimes you have to wonder, wait, they're playing for money here. You know, they're so involved in it. And so it's really good to see. Sunday coming up, we have PMS. They'll be coming up against Desi Boys at 10 a.m. at Potters. And then VIP, they'll be coming up against Buckley's 3Js, 2 p.m. at Potters. At Powell's, we'll have Mix Up coming up against Dredgers at 10 a.m. And then 300 coming up against GP Eagles at 2 p.m. So another exciting week of cricket coming up there in the tape ball competition.
Yes, sir. We look forward to that.
Most definitely. We have some Business League basketball playing also at the Johnson Sports Complex there, the basketball complex at the JSC.
Yes.
And so Transport Board, they got a win there. And H. Wright Promotions, they are unbeaten.
They
in
seem
the-
to be the team of the tournament so far.
So far they seem to be the team of the
That's their
tournament.
third certainly. Maybe their 4th win.
Yeah, I think the third or the 4th win there. Also, Colin, we have the national draft team. They went off there to Grenada. Wow, so Grenada.
Drafts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Grenada there, in Grenada. Yeah, the week when you boycott and went to watch CPL, Colin, we had we had a representative from draft here. Well, actually, we had the president, Cranston.
Okay.
We had Trevor Cranston here, and he was speaking about that. So we may have to we may have to look to get him back here to give us a
Okay.
report on this. This competition is going from the 22nd to the 26th, and this is being held at the MacDonald College in St. Patrick there in Grenada.
Grenada.
And the team is led by Eustace Zosio Samuel.
That's the
he will-
Calypsonian.
Um,
Zosio.
Zosio, I'm wondering if it's him.
Okay,
I'm
not
too
sure.
sure.
Okay.
But yeah, he'll also play the role as the manager, and he will be there. We also have Bernard Premier Willock, as you know,
I know
as
that
a
name.
veteran, and Amakusa Jeremiah, and we also have Anthony Tony Gums and Marvin Bruce Gray. So we just want to wish all these guys all the best in this tournament, and as I said, we'll definitely try to get Cranston on next week.
Speaking of drafts and mind sport, some Warrior players went to Kazakhstan recently.
Yes, that same week again, Colin, when you boycotted, when you went to CPL, watch cricket.
Listeners out there and viewers, don't listen to JB with these allegations.
Yeah, we had Cedric Lowe, the secretary there, and yeah, they had some players who were getting themselves prepared to get out there. Actually, they have some little turmoil in the Warrior Association. Don't think they have too much of a functioning executive.
Oh my.
So there's a couple of them trying to keep it together.
Okay.
So he did promise that he will come back and, share what is happening and how they're trying to work on bringing the Warrior Association back into functioning.
My thing is we have to get Warriors an Olympic sport. That's the only way we'll win a medal.
Oh man. Yeah, here's a little stuff here too. Just going to the newspaper quickly, Colin. Remember last week, Neil was saying that they were looking at probably going back to the recreation ground.
Yes.
And here is it now. The president of the Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association, Leon Klumer Rodney, he's hoping that they can host some cricket matches at the ARG at the end of October.
Cricket.
Yeah.
Is cricket going on? What kind of cricket he wants to host there? Association cricket. I'm a bit confused there. I didn't realize any kind of cricket league-wise locally was going on.
Well, do remember we have England coming here, and we also have, I think it's Bangladesh. So
Well, yeah, but that's a
maybe we
stadium.
want to use it again as
a practice venue.
practice venue. Maybe I know there's some talk about a T20 league. Some teams
Okay.
are trying to formulate. I think I saw the name Don Charles as a part of the
Organizing committee.
organizing committee. And so I'm going to try to reach out to him and see if we can get him here to get some. My understanding is all the teams have committed. Well, I don't want to say committed, but okay, let me use the word committed to it. Except one team. One team has not committed. We're talking about the Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association team.
Okay.
So from my understanding, one team has committed to this idea of this tournament, and all teams, and one team has not yet, or have not thrown in their support. I guess they're still waiting for some more information as to how this will pan out, because with the cool and smooth fallout, the players are trying to find
An alternative
tournament.
tournament.
An alternative tournament. But I would say I'm not discrediting the effort, but I think Cool and Smooth would have contributed quite a bit, and even with the fallout, we have to find ways of mending these fences, and I really like to see them, make an effort to go and sit down with the organizers again. Some compromise have to work out.
I think to get back to the use of the ARG though, I think the time has come, has long gone, when we have to really decide what we're doing with the ARG. Whether Carnival can continue to be there if we want to maintain the ARG as a quote-unquote international venue. I looking at it when that ground was given to the Football Association. I do not like where they place the lights. One of the pylons for the one in the southwestern corner down there.
Okay.
They actually put it on the field. I think That might have been convenient at the time, but I don't think restricting the playing area, cricket-wise, for the ARG, I don't think that was a wise move, and I think they should move that pylon. Use of the grounds for carnival activities, I think we have to bite the bullet and say, well, if we're going to maintain the ARG as a cricketing venue, quote unquote, international venue for any sport, we have to move carnival out of ARG. What are your views?
Well, yes, I believe the ARG is, when we talk about sports in Antigua, it's really a staple in our sport and culture. And I would really like to see the ground come back to a sporting, complex for cricket. That's where it really got its recognition.
And
Regionally, internationally,
football too could be
also.
maintained there.
I don't know how the two sports can coexist, but it will be interesting. I don't know.
I think the two sports can coexist. Football does take a toll, and the wear and tear on the ground is tremendous, yes, but we have managed it in the past. Hosting test cricket there, getting the ground back to thing. And once we manage it properly, if the ground is flooded out really and really soggy, don't play a football match there. That could go a long way to preserving it so that we don't have to do major reconstruction or rehabilitative work to get it back for cricket. I think the time has come. We really must sit down, it's the ministry, and decide what is the future of the ARG.
But I think, isn't there a committee in place led by
A committee was formed many years ago.
a former minister there, I can't remember.
Humphreys.
Yeah, we haven't heard
We
much
have heard
about it.
absolutely nothing coming out of that committee.
Yeah, but as you rightfully said, the ministry, the sporting bodies, I think we need to have a collective discussion on, the best use, what we can get out of it. I mean, you speak about carnival. I don't know if carnival can move from there. I mean, what would be the options? What would be the options? That location is just central. I mean, to take it down to Grace Green.
That is one idea. They recently, last year, they had the schools panorama down at the port.
Yes.
Deepwater Harbor, that area
I
there.
wanted to go. I missed that opportunity to go there.
That came off very well.
Uh,
Yes, you might say that it suited a panorama event, a pan event. It might not be suitable for Calypso. But why not? And in any case, you can set up a stage same way. It's a large area, carrying seating. That means that's an investment in infrastructure, I guess. But portable stands, that's the correct word.
Right,
Temporary stands. I think that's an option that can be explored. King George is a ground that could be utilized. Steel band schools panorama has been held up at the stadium in the car park. That's another option, and that came off very well. Also, a stage was set up.
I think the challenge with the stadium, Colin, is just the
Location?
accessibility.
Okay.
I think that's the challenge there. But I think those two locations you talk about, the stadium and the
Down at the port there.
Because of the base, the concrete base, those heavy trailers, tractors won't do much damage there.
Exactly.
But I think you're onto something there, and I think that could be something that could be studied there. But Carnival itself, because Carnival, I'm assuming Carnival will need a home, a stable home. I don't think you want to be moving all over the place.
Okay.
This is Carnival City. This is where you are. I don't know.
Well, I think that with the correct investment, temporary stands that we mentioned, for example, we could find a venue where we could host all carnival events, queen shows, calypso shows, soca shows, panorama, with ease. Troops and groups parading across a central stage area. I think we just have to sit down and work it out. But use of the ARG, if we want the ARG to be a proper sporting venue, and I don't think we can just abandon it with all the history behind the ARG. Not only in cricket, football, and other sports, they used to do cycling at ARG. I don't think we can go back to that, really. But there's a lot of history at the ARG, and I think we should abandon it as a carnival venue. That's just my personal view.
Yeah, well, my understanding of the ARG, it was all of our sports were played there at one
Yes.
point in time. You know, whatever sport it was, that was there: cycling, athletics, football, cricket. You know, that's where it was played. So,
Mhm. But as we evolve, I mean, we can't expect cycling and other sports to be hosted there. I mean, those are sports that need their specialized facilities, basketball, netball, and as we mentioned, those sports there. It irks me that in 2024 we don't have a proper indoor facility to host volleyball, netball, basketball.
we have one for volleyball.
We have one for volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball has an indoor stadium. That's what Neil was saying.
Notice I said proper. You know, what's the surface? What's the surface there at our netball or volleyball city? Concrete, isn't it?
Was it concrete?
I think it is. I think it is. But anyway, I think that place needs work. We're glad for it, of course, and it's a home for volleyball, and volleyball seems to be making strides. I must say, and but we need a proper indoor facility, certainly for basketball, netball. We can't just going on in this ad hoc fashion, hosting things there. And when we hosted a netball tournament 2 years ago,
Yeah, but yeah. and
and using the YMCA, the last minute
They
thing.
were trying to even get into the volleyball stadium to host some of the netball games. I don't know if it was the rain or something like that was affecting the tournament.
Okay.
So they were trying to use the indoor stadium, but
That space is adequate if a netball court can
yeah,
go
netball
in there?
court, yeah, netball
Oh,
court
okay,
can fit in it,
okay,
yes, definitely.
okay, fair enough.
And
Okay.
I was just trying to see if I could, because the game Grenade is playing right now. I was just trying to see if I could find a link to the game.
Netball?
No, the football, the Nation Cup.
Oh, Grenades.
Yeah,
Grenades FC.
Yeah, Grenades FC, they're playing right now, but I don't
Okay.
have a link. Can't find a link for the game.
Wish them well. They're playing. Yes. I forget the name of the side there. They're playing. And we have to get Unamente in the Dominican Republic of the Dominican Republic. They're in the Dominican Republic, are they? I think they are.
I think that's where. Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's where they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the
So
moment.
we wish them well there. They got a draw against AC Port of Spain 1-1 in their second match after losing their first match. But I think Grenades are doing well. They're the only, what do you put this, non-professional side in that competition. All the other teams are pro teams.
Yeah. We have to give them credit. You know, they've really represented well. I mean, yes, as we always say, fans only want to see wins. But I think when we look at the schematics of thing, you have to give them credit for going out there and really representing themselves, representing Antigua, and they've really made a good showing for themselves, even if the
Definitely.
results may not necessarily reflect all of that.
Okay.
All right, well, Colin, we had to carry this thing quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
But
I'm
we
sorry.
got to close it off, and then on Thursday we're going to try and see if we can get Karen and her team there in St. Lucia to give us an update of what's happening down there. Also see if we can get some report on the men's side. They didn't have a good one at it in the netball tournament that they went to there, and we're trying to get a little football if we can get somebody from the Grenades team to give us a little report on their game there tonight.
Okay. That's good. I hope we get through. I'm sorry Kofi couldn't spend more time with us earlier today. A lot more I would like to get out of him in terms of his experience in with the Falcons.
Yeah, well, maybe we could try. We could probably try Joel also. I wonder how, one of the things I'd really like to know, how is he balancing, because he's playing this cricket now, and he's still in school.
Yes.
He's very much still in school, so
that's a tough one.
That'd be an interesting conversation to have. I'll have to reach out and see if we could probably get him. Well, maybe not get him in studio, but get him online and really just chit chat with him, as you said, and just.
Suppose he had a blockbuster season with the Falcons, like getting a century or two, and next thing you hear, IPL showing interest. I wonder how would that have worked out?
As a parent, how would you handle that, Colin?
I don't know.
I can get a contract for 1.5 million, Colin.
Yes, well, schoolwork, let have to take a back seat.
Well, Colin done declares an early.
Tough one, boy.
But guys, we gotta go.
It was fun.
So Colin, your closing remark.
Yes, thank you for staying with us here and talking sports on the Antigua Parish League Network. Join us again on Thursday at 6:30 for another exciting program. We look forward to seeing you then.
Most definitely. I want to thank Kofi James for sharing a bit of time with us, and we definitely would like to get him back and just to get a little bit more insight as to his feeling on the season. But it was really good to have him here, and we want to once again wish the Antigua team all the best as they get into their final stage of preparation there. So on behalf of all of us here on the Antigua Parish League Network, Colin and myself from the Antigua Talking Sports team, we want to say have a good night, stay safe, everyone.